Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a very large box, 55 CDs, in fact, of stuff featuring the Emerson String Quartet on Deutsche Grammophon. Now, there's already been an Emerson Quartet box, but this is the new complete recordings, as opposed to the old complete recordings. It's more complete, right? It's got like everything, whereas last time they left out something, and if you think I'm going to go see what they left out and what they included this time, forget it. I've got some swampland in New Jersey you might be interested in purchasing. No, we're just going to talk about what's in here. Now, the Emerson Quartet, let's talk some tachlis here. The Emerson Quartet is one of the great quartets of the second half of the 20th century, a tremendous, tremendous group. I saw them first live when I was in college, which was in the early 80s. In the late 70s, I was classical music director at WJHU in Baltimore, and I had the opportunity to have lunch with at least some of them. I remember they all had some strange dietary requirements, but never mind that. Whatever it was, it worked. They played beautifully. They're a tremendous group, as good as any out there. Let's put it that way. And I am constantly reminded of the foolishness of the classical music universe when I hear things like, that they're accused of being somewhat cool or somewhat slick or overly precise or playing in the American way as opposed to the traditional European way. The traditional European way usually means kind of sloppy, but with warmth. They slobber warmly, whereas the Americans are cool and slick, and it's all such bullshit. It really is. You have to take each recording as it comes. They are a quartet in the mode of the Juilliard Quartet, for example. That is, that wonderful contemporary vision of performance, which involves a certain level of precision, I think, and a neoclassical approach in some respects. That's true. But that's a function of time and training. I mean, exactly the same thing is true of the Alban Berg Quartet. And nobody talks about them sounding American. But they are every bit as clinical as any American, if that's the word, American quartet, if that's the word you want to use. You shouldn't, because great playing is great playing, let's face it, right? And all of this nationalist folderol that goes with it has nothing to do with music and everything to do with people's own foolishness and prejudices. So let's just come right out and say that there are some things in here that are as great as anything anyone has done. And with that, let's just look through it and see what's in here. Oh, I hope I don't have to take every disc out. They look like original jackets. Yes, they are original jackets, just so you know. And let's see. We've got a track listing. Tell me, please, God, we have a track. Yes, we do. All right. So many of the discs in here have been reviewed on ClassicsToday.com. So if you don't want to just go through the box and you want to see, how we're talking about individual titles, go take a look at the Emerson Quartet listings on Classics Today, because you'll find a lot of stuff there. We have, all right, they're doing these things not in order. Oh, God, kill me now. Yes, these are the discs as they originally came out, not as they were later packaged. So we've got Schubert, Death and the Maiden, which is a really tight, fun performance. And then the Beethoven cycle. Let's just sum up the Beethoven cycle, shall we? The Beethoven cycle is a great Beethoven quartet cycle. It is dynamic. It is serious. It is deep. It is intense. It has splendid, splendid moments and really no weak spots. If you like the approach, you're going to like the cycle. There are so many great Beethoven cycles by so many great quartets now. So it's very difficult to choose amongst them. It really is. So the issue then really becomes, if you get a big box and you get a Beethoven cycle with the box, is it as good as what's out there? And the answer is yes, it certainly is. So is their Bartók cycle. So we've covered Beethoven and Bartók. Debussy and Ravel. Well, those are very nice, aren't they? Again, everyone will have their favorites. These are not my favorites. I grant you, but I have to grant the excellence of the playing and the legitimacy of the interpretation. And I saw them do the Ravel, and it was fantastic. That was live. Tchaikovsky, String Quartets 1, Borodin number 2. Very, very pretty. Very nicely done. I'm not... again, not my favorite performances of those works. I mean, I like the Borodin Quartet and the Borodin Quartet number 2. The Tchaikovsky Quartet number 1, well, I don't really care about anybody's. It's not a bad piece. It's just not something I turn to very frequently. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good performance, but you probably will have your favorite. In my opinion, won't matter. Then we've got a bunch of Haydn quartets. All of their Haydn is first rate. I wish they had spent more time doing Haydn. I really do, because there's not a ton of Haydn in here. They're individual quartets, a selection of, I don't know, a dozen or so, or however many. Maybe they have like a thing in the back here that tells us what they did. No, they don't. Of course, that would be much too easy. All right, so no, but their Haydn's really good. It's just intense and rhythmic and spunky and beautiful. More Schubert, Rosamund, and the Quartettensatz, which is really, really good. And of course, we talked about Beethoven and the last Schubert quartet. Then the Dvorak and the Smetana quartets. They have done a bunch of Dvorak quartets, the American, the usual Dvorak ones. I think there are better Dvorak ones. I don't think that's where their heart was. Again, they're well played, but are they as idiomatic and just sort of full of that kind of Czech color, flavor that music has? I would rather hear, the Smetanas or the Pinokas or one of the Czech groups do it, the Talich, So there you go. I mean, see, not everything is perfect, but it's certainly not bad. The Smetana Quartet, by the way, the first one's really good. That's very, very good. Then we've got Brahms and Schumann, the Brahms String Quartet number 1, and Schumann number 3. Excellent performances. First class, especially the Schumann, which can have some dead spots and does not. Then we've got Mozart flute quartets with Eugene Drucker. And those are quite wonderful. And Carol Winsence. I'm doing a few things too here. And those are fine if you like that sort of thing. I can take the Mozart flute quartets and retire them permanently. That is not my favorite chamber music. Then we've got, Prokofiev string quartets and the Sonata for Two Violins. That's a really good disc. First rate. Absolutely first rate. Schubert quintet, with Rostropovich. That's a very fine account of the quintet. No question about it. Mozart, the 6 Haydn quartets. Very nicely done. No flute. Thank God. Charles Ives quartets. Oh, this is one of their great discs. The 2 Ives quartet, Barber string quartet, and Dover Beach with Thomas Hampson. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. John Harbison, string quartet number 2. Richard Wernick, string quartet number 4. Gunter Schuller, string quartet number 3. The obeisance to not terribly interesting modern American chamber music. Let's not kid ourselves. Sorry. The Dvorak, the quintet, the piano quintet. Oh, yeah, in A major. And the piano quartet number 2 in E flat with Menachem Pressler. Beautiful performances. Better than their Dvorak string quartets, I think. I really do. I think having Pressler there maybe just, gave everybody a little extra soulfulness, maybe? Is that the word? I don't know. Webern. Oh, the Webern music for string quartet. Fabulously done with some other things here. The 6 bagatelles and, the 3 pieces for mezzo soprano and other things. And it's Webernian. It's so Webernian. I mean, it'll just Webern you out. It really were. Then we got Schumann's piano quintet, opus 44. And the piano quartet, opus 47, again with Menachem Pressler. Beautiful performances. Beethoven, string quartets. There we go. There they are. Beethoven. Yes, that's fine. Edgar Meyer's quintet for string quartet and double bass. Very enjoyable, actually. I like that. The Ned Rorem, string quartet number 4. Also very enjoyable. This is better American chamber music, I think. The Mozart clarinet quintet, the Brahms clarinet quintet with David Schifrin. Very sensitive, lovely, soulful performances. Shostakovich, the complete string quartets. Fabulous. As good a Shostakovich cycle as anyone has done. Simple, easy. That's the truth. And so, let's see. What did I just skip some stuff? Wait a minute. Let me see if I got it all here. Nope, here they all are. Yes, the Shostakovich quartets. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, a whole bunch of boxes of that. And they're great. They're just great. Boxes, discs of that. More Haydn. So there's some Haydn that I've talked about already. I've talked about Haydn. Bach, the Art of Fugue. Really nice. Lots of fun. I love hearing the music on a string quartet. It's just fun to listen to. Let's see. So what else have we got here? Oh, Haydn, the 7 Last Words. I think that's horrible in a string quartet. I don't think anyone should ever do it. The Mendelssohn string quartets. First class. and they are first-class works that still don't get quite the respect they deserve. This is a fabulous cycle of amazing chamber music. And you also get the octet and some other individual quartet movements, and they are fantastic. Grieg String Quartet and Nielsen at the Buyer of a Young Artist, Sibelius String Quartet. Wonderful stuff. Absolutely a lovely disc. Brahms Quartets 1 and 2. Didn't we do those already? And 3. Maybe they did them more than once. Did they? I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to look. You're going to get lots of stuff, And the F minor piano quintet with Leon Fleischer. Yay. That's really fun. Bach, Fugues from the Well-Tempered Clavier for 4 and 5 voices. Well, that's fun, and a nice enterprising disc of not the usual stuff. The Janicek Quartets, along with Martineau's 3 madrigals. Now, I like the Martineau stuff's wonderful. The Janicek performances are very good, very precise, but not as raw and edgy as the music needs to be, quite frankly. I mean, the just, bleeding, ripping, gaping wound is not there. It needs to gape. And then we've got more Dvorak quartets, 10 and 11. The string quintet in E-flat, the American quintet. Now, that's great. That's nice to have. The quartets are good, but, not the best. Cypresses for string quartet, quite lovely. You've got string quartet 13 and 14 by Dvorak. Those are good. Those, I think they're better than the ones that don't sound as obviously Czech-ish, if you know what I mean. Those are like late Beethoven quartets, Dvorak style, and I think they're more comfortable in that idiom. I could be totally stupid saying that, but that's how it struck me. Berg, the Lyric Suite, Egon Veles, Sonnets, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning for soprano and string quartet with Renee Fleming. Yes, and Eric Ziesel's Komm Süßer Tod, arranged for soprano and string quartet. That's a fun disc of different stuff. And disc 52, what is this? Oh, this is weird stuff. Little transcription thingies. Encores. We have Brahms, O Heiland, Reiß die Himmel auf, and Sibelius's Andante Festivo, and Janicek, Something in Tears from On an Overgrown Path, Hugo Wolf's Italian Serenade, Puccini's Chrysanthemums, and then listening guides. We have listening guides where they talk about stuff. Eugene Drucker on the 7 Last Words. Felix Mendelssohn, A Journey Through the Quartets. Well, that's nice to have them talk and play, which is really rather nice of them. CD 53, we're almost done. Purcell, Shackney in G minor. 2 Fantasias, the Britten String Quartet No. 2, which is a wonderful work. And more Purcell, and then the Britten String Quartet No. 3, which is also a wonderful work. So those are fun to have, and those are extremely well done. Then there's the New York Concert, the Mozart Piano Quartet No. 1, and Fauré's Piano Quartet No. 1. Ooh, what a beautiful program. And then, let's see, Dvorak, the Quintet in A major. Again, it's part of the New York Concert. And the encore is the Shostakovich Piano Quintet, the Scherzo, with, let's see, who's doing the piano? Oh, Yevgeny Kissin. Oh, yeah, hot stuff. Famous people. And you get lyrics in the back, which is very nice of them. You get texts. And that's it. 55 CDs of rather remarkable string quartet music. And the sad thing is that Universal doesn't seem to care about chamber music anymore. So what we're going to get is boxes and reissued boxes of previously string quartet and chamber music ensembles that they did care about back in the days when they were serious about classical music. But in the meantime, this is really, really first rate. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? I keep saying that, but it's true. Absolutely amazing music making by great musicians. And it's just a pity that there's so much of it. There's so much excellence out there. It's very hard to choose. And everyone will have their favorites and, the things that they want. But if you get this, you're going to be in really good shape. And that's the truth. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you for joining me. Take care.